So this is where they were building a travel back office system, and they were thinking, what should we do? Maybe they want to scale it, but again, they had no clue how to probably expand in the market, right? So I said, I want to join forces. I don't want a salary, anything. I want to be part of your team. We let's build this together, right? So that's when I joined forces with them, and I reached out.
Is a team based in Doha?
It is based in Doha.
Okay.
Okay, so they were actually building it. They were REC engineering grads who were building us. I would say a pilot software for the for Akbar Travels, which is
Okay.
back then the biggest travel agency in India.
Mm.
And they said, we want to scale this here. So I said, I was here on vacation because
20
I
years
was
back, that means it was Manai Travels that was really big.
Manai was big.
Yeah.
If you remember, Darwish
Darwish, yeah.
was very big,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Then Regency was still there.
Regency.
But there's something called Cleopatra. If you
Cleopatra,
remember,
yeah.
that was
It's still here.
these are like, yeah,
This is still
it's still there. So these are the core main. Now there's so many,
yes.
but those times they were like really big,
Yeah.
outsized, right? There was a tourist travels, I remember. These were like the golden. We wanted to capture this market. So they were all working on those were the big US tech companies. They were building the software, or they would get a regular accounting system. There was no concept of automating your entire back office. So here is like a bunch of kids. We had no idea how, but I instinctively loved the challenge and ambition of this. This when I realized I always wanted to be associated with something where I find meaning. So it's
Okay.
not even about being an entrepreneur. It's about being part of a project which with a vision, and you want to be believe in. So here is one thing. We had the opportunity where we could potentially disrupt all the big boys and build a back office system which automates. But how do we do it? You have these US big tech companies with the billions of dollars. How do we do it? So this is where we learned our first lesson. We reached out then to a Amadeus. So Amadeus is the
Which
biggest
is
ticketing,
yes,
the front
ticketing group.
office. Okay, they control all the
Yeah.
ticketing. So I don't know. I just took the phone and made a couple of calls, and luckily, I don't know. It's beginner's luck or something. Someone said, "Come in." I mean, years back
Come in Doha.
in Doha,
Yeah. Amadeus.
Amadeus.
That's under Qatar Airways.
It was under Qatar. It still is
Yes,
under Qatar,
still under
right?
Qatar.
Because that's why they have a 90% market
Yes,
share.
yes.
So the globally in the they call it GDS
Yes.
systems. There's Amadeus,
Galileo.
there's Sabre and Galileo, right?
Galileo.
Galileo was with Manai,
With Manai,
right?
yes, yes.
And
I used to work with Manai Travels.
oh, you used
That
to.
was my internship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you know this,
In
right?
2000.
Ah, nice.
So I know this system that you're talking about. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you probably learned. So
Yes.
that's the IATA system, the
Yes.
IATA.
Yes.
So they, I call them Amadeus because we have to start somewhere, right? We have to hit this market, and we have no clue. We are just full of passion. We have no clue about business,
Yes.
at this stage we were doing everything. I think I was supporting business analyst client. We were all taking the driver, everything.
Right.
So I said we spoke. We called up Amadeus. I still remember the gentleman there. He was the operation manager. So he was handling the operation. So he heard the pitch. He knows we are rock kid. This guy's a rock kid.
Yeah.
Because when he said, how much would you, okay, I said, see, I want a partnership. I know you're handling all these agencies, but
So what does the system do?
the system, see, primarily finance and everything. So what happens in a travel agency is you come, you book a ticket.
Okay.
So back then it's even paper ticket,
Yes.
So you go, and then there's a regulation body called IATA.
Okay.
So there's something called a reconciliation. You pay
Yes.
ticket in 60 days or 45 days, you need to pay it back to the airline.
Yes.
So it was all being done manually.
Yes.
The whole back office team, the operations team, the finance team will sit and manually check and as the money has come, they dig. So very time consuming laborious cycles. We thought we'll build a system which can automate and do the bank reconciliation. So when click of a button, everything can be done. Easier said than done because there's so much of red tape,
Data, yeah.
data, and I don't want to bore you with all the
Yes.
details. So that's what we said. We pitched to Amadeus, we can be your partners, but we want a shot at the market. We said, how much will it cost? Price, we said we give a. So that's when he realized we are so naive. We gave a very cheap price, okay. And then he looked and he said, these, I don't know, out of the goodness of his heart, he writes in a piece of paper, we are okay up to this much, okay. He doesn't want to mention this
Yeah.
because tomorrow, because from his perspective, he's like, we're okay with at least this because he doesn't want us to go. It's not that he's just helping us. You don't want to underprice yourself and get in trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? So he said, I'll do one thing. I'll give you guys a shot because he sees me coming, I still,
you?
I'm 24, 23, 24.
So that's your first touch of entrepreneurial.
That's the first time. No, I'm actually 21.
21,
Sorry,
okay.
I'm first time. This is like almost like my first job, right? So it's like, so I'm going there.
Did you feel that you were going to get rejected?
See, the best thing with 21 is
Yeah.
you don't know what you know today that you know then.
Okay.
If I today I wouldn't have maybe picked that call if I had the same situation. Oh, the big guys are going to, because so much of logic,
Yes.
all the knowledge would have told me no, this won't work. Because this is what which is this is called probably, I don't know, the exuberance of youth, or the
Yes. Yes. The
ignorance
innocence.
of youth.
The
So we
innocence.
thought we are going to go
Yeah.
there and do it. So we got full of
Yeah.
confidence. I still remember I'm buying my first blazer just because I have to look all so, and I still have the
That's
tag
probably
was
from Blue Saloon.
and, then, and the tag was still out here, right? He
Yeah.
said you need at the end of the meeting I remember I asked if you can cut it.
2004, 5?
No,
Yeah, Blue
2005.
Saloon. Yeah.
It was, well,
Because brands came after
was
that.
it? Yeah, I think it was Blue. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
Blue
not brand.
Saloon.
It
Yeah.
was Blue Salon or
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, it was Blue. So
Or
and
Salam.
or
Salam.
Salam,
Yeah.
right? So we went, and so I still remember, and because why I remember that is because you had the tag here,
Yes.
and he said you need to cut it
Yeah.
off because I know it's brand new.
Yeah.
So see, you see these good Samaritans in life
Yes.
today. Now when you look, so that time I thought it was my extraordinary pitch, my intelligence which flowed the guy, and he said now when I look this, the guy was like, give this kid a chance. Probably it reminded me himself maybe 10, 15 years back, doing something, and someone saved him. So I went pitched, and then they gave us the first break. They said, we'll give you one travel agency. Go and sit there and see, and if they are happy, then let's have a conversation.
Okay.
So there was this travel agency called TriStar Travels, right?
TriStar,
Somewhere,
yes, yes.
Najme, somewhere
Yes,
there.
yes.
So there was this harassed finance manager, and we could see, still, I can't remember, his name is Thomas. I still remember his name is Thomas. And,
Most thumbs are
yeah. And his hair is all like, and you can see this is a travel guy.
Yeah.
He's doing everything, but financial accounting is probably the most challenging because it's money. So he's the manager. Come this. So we told him. He said, John, will this work out? Many guys have come and said so many great story. And so I mean, I'm full of passion. I said, we promised the world. the Our coding guy was listening, and he's saying yes. He said, we worked on them for 6 months, customized it to a point. That's when we learned so many things in Qatar. See, the big tech companies, and I think this is a message for any entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We always look at these big guys, right, and say, oh, we can't break them, or it's so overwhelming. These big guys tend to overlook servicing some key niche, small needs. This just doesn't make financial sense for them. In Doha, there was a practice. You work in a company, you probably get a nice fat Qatar Airways ticket, for going. So many of these guys, workers, they come, they get the ticket, they encash the ticket, and then they buy a cheaper ticket,
Yes.
and they pocket the
Yes,
difference. Okay, so this is like a big, but this can't be automated on a software because it's very difficult for them to go cancel.
Yes.
So this is the first thing which we added in a system where you can automate this process. You can go, you can cancel, you can issue a dummy. We created a process,
Yes.
so which none of the fancy big tech software companies could do it.
You saw a gap.
We saw the gap. That was the first thing which we identified, which was baked into the. This was after hours and hours of meeting, often back and forth. And I'm the I and there's a gentleman Dash who's the main GM who was running, and we were going back and forth between tech guys sitting in India and here, right? So and the client. Long story short, that when the system came, it was super hyper customized to the point where all their headaches were being solved. Now he was just kicking in, the reconciliation was happening. What used to take days is now taking few minutes, few hours. His job is just now overseeing and all this kind of thing. It reached a point. So then Amadeus saw this and said they immediately. So by 2006, they gave us 3, 4 agencies. And this is where we said now this is almost launch pad. I don't want to delve too much, but I exited this venture in 2008.
Okay.
But today I think probably 70-80% of the market runs on tracks. So we are now the incumbents, we are the giants who have to be disrupted.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll come to why we formed Mavericks. Right. Now, there's always going to be a smart, a kid like Das or Vineet who's sitting there waiting to disrupt us. I'm sure this can happen.
Absolutely.
Right. He's coming. He'll probably come with an AI tool.
Yes.
And so what? After that, we did a series of ventures because we got confident. Right. Now, this is the good
So
part.
same partners have come to Mavericks.
No, I'll tell you. So 2008, when we left it, why did I leave?
Yeah.
We had another Qatari partner who came and said, come, let's disrupt the construction tech industry and let's do something real estate is. That went and that was okay, but it never really succeeded.
Right.
So from the hubris and arrogance, this was a very humbling time, right? So we thought we could do something someday. But that's when we realized, see, many of our innocence and let's put our head down, focus on these kind of those ethics. We probably overlooked in the next venture because there we were like brash eyed. Now my pitching was super confident, as if I owned you. So this is where we didn't do our due diligence as much as we probably should have. We probably didn't set up, didn't do those hours and months, with one particular kind before we scale. Again, we had a good Samaritan who helped us. I remember Qatar Design Consortium, Mr. Shiva, I still consider him as a mentor. He gave us the first break to build this project lifecycle management system for the. So yeah, he's another gem
No,
of
he's,
legend.
yeah, he's another person I need to interview.
He's a
Yeah.
legend.
You're a legend. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot from Mr. Shiva,
Okay.
who is QDC. He's probably one of my business guru, I would say.
Okay.
He's some down to earth. He built a massive design firm in Qatar. Probably the biggest design
Yeah.
firm, Qatar Design
Yeah.
Consortium. They are
Birla Group
iconic.
School was done by.
So you built a
Yeah,
school was done.
design was done.
I
from
think
him.
almost every Qatar Petroleum building
Yeah.
is designed by QDC. So Mr. Shiva, I learned a lot of his management philosophy because this is beauty of work, the kind of job I had. So what we found was not him, the QDC, was his management philosophy, how he retained his top A-listers, right? He created entrepreneurs in the organization.
Yes.
And I think that's the
I have a
future.
classmate who's an architect there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
See, we all have friends over there because anyone who's a fresher, chances are that they may be rejected everywhere, but they will get a shot at QPC.
Yeah.
They may not get the best package, but that's how he manages all of that. But that's when he finds talent, he retains them by making them mini entrepreneurs. He encourages them to set up their own office, back office, and give them work. So they feel they're building their own thing. So there's a sense of purpose because he understands the human being when you grow to a certain stage. You can't just pay him top salary and retain him. He wants to create a legacy.
Yeah.
He wants to create if you're an architect, you want to create your own design.
Yes.
So this is the genius of the man. I learned through various management information systems he created.
He empowers.
Some great metrics he created. The man's a genius.
His empowerment is very high.
Empowerment is very good, right? So
Yeah.
we
It's
tried.
the same for male and female. What's the best thing about him?
See, walking there is a very different vibe than walking to any conventional companies in Doha.
No, he's
Full
structured.
disclosure, there is no advertising. I
Yeah.
was not paid for advertising.
Nothing, yeah.
And he will not pay. If you know the man, there is no way, But you walk in, it's like walking into any global company where boys and girls, you're so much of gender, and it's a fun environment.
Fun.
People are relaxed. I've sat in there enjoying, people are staying there for 20, 30 years. They could probably get paid higher maybe in some
There's
oil and gas company.
There's value addition in that company.
Right.
I've asked a couple of friends of mine who work there.
Right.
And they said, Tom, what I can learn from outside. Yeah, I'm learning it already here. So why do I need to go outside and look for something else?
Absolutely.
So that's what that shows the mindset that the leader has.
Right.
So
and I'll tell you, that's why when we pitched this innovative project lifecycle management, no one in the construction industry, no one in the engineering industry in Qatar was ready to even accept rather than buy something like this, to have something, because this can let the entire management to get a complete snapshot view of the project at real time. Shiva decided, no, we need a system, let's bet on this. So he was the first guy who adopted the system.
Wow.
And how he went ahead implementing that is what he was teaching me. It's not, I was there to implement, but he was teaching me because he created a center of excellence. He got all the stakeholders to buy in, right? His main managers from different divisions, they were all sitting and they were driving the process because we had different challenges. People were not inputting in the system. People were finding it laborious to update the system. So he brought in those systems in place. So how you go about implementing change in an organization, I learned it from Shiva, because everyone, we always talk about innovation. Everyone instinctively is scared of innovation because they think this is going to change my life, this is going to disrupt me or my job, and he knows that inherent fear. He said, no, this is going to help you, aid you. You can do things, you can get on to bigger stuff and focus on things that matter, not entry and all those kind of stuff, not reporting, but actually building. So this is something I saw how a leader gradually he didn't impose it top down. He didn't say, today, 21st of March, you're supposed to. completely changed the system. He got it done. I learned this from him. So that was a
This is the
transformation.
process.
This is the process where where I really now I why I really appreciate it. It was a real hard sell for us to take that product to other companies. That's when I realized how great, a visionary leader we saw. Just even today, only 3 or 4 companies have that kind of system. But so that venture was a challenge for us. But it was a part of the learning process. Then a lot of things happened. There was a Villaggio fire, as you know. That was a sad thing, but there was a huge opportunity in fire that came out. So building technologies. Doha was on a building spree with the Asian Games coming. So we focused on building technologies. That was a pivot we made.
Okay.
So it's very important as an entrepreneur to survive. So that's why another learning for me.
This is all Mavericks, or this is prior to Mavericks?
This is Mavericks. This is when Mavericks. This is not Mavericks. This is prior to Mavericks. Okay, because this was a company we called Viva Infoventures. We formed. We partnered with a local business group here, and we started doing these solutions. Because I told you I exited tracks or core solutions to actually come down here. So this decade we dabbled on so many different things. Some things worked, some things didn't work. What I started to understand is there is so much of amazing. I started traveling the world, right? And I started seeing amazing things happening in Vegas, in East Asia. So back then, now you say China, I used to spend more time in the US back then because US
Tech
is
was
the tech and any innovation, right?
Yes.
Even if it's a new kind of coffee shop, I had to go to the US. So that's when I said, I love not just tech, I love across industry. So I said, how do I back those entrepreneurs? Maybe an image of me 15, 20 years, who are doing amazing things in their city, but now you have to take it global. So I don't want to go at the very early stage because you have to prove it. You have to go through the pain, just like we all went through, and see traction. Because if early on, if you get capital, thank God we didn't have capital when we were started early on, because then we would have made shitty decisions. I would have bought a more swanky car when I could have used that for hiring more people, for example, right? We make stupid. I would have bought a bigger office when we were very smart with even offices. We did a barter deal with a French company where we were building a software and they were just paying us on cost, and we also got to use their boardroom as well. Imagine if I had the money. If my dad had given me 200,000 here, pick it up, I would have got a nice luxury office in Pearl, maybe with a nice, pretty secretary out there. And in 3 months, I would have said, "Oh, I've actually burned all my money." Right?
Sure.
But because I didn't have that money, we had to hustle, and we all had to. So sometimes
That was your struggles.
so that was the struggles. So that was the challenge. We didn't have a proper car. My dad gave us second hand. I still remember we had this manual gear Honda Civic, and it's not cool. No girls want to date us. Your friend comes driving a swanky. I still remember a friend of mine bought a new Pathfinder back then, and that was just big, hulky, and we loved it. And here I am,
Going into desert now.
with a Honda 1980s model Honda Civic. So no one, you're not the cool
Yes.
kid. So it's easy for people to say they all want this. They all want the freedom. They all want this one. But what do you trade off? You trade off these kind of stuff.
Yes.
You're not going to be the cool kid.
Yes.
Yeah. You're not going to be that girl's first choice. If she is, that's a keeper because she genuinely likes you. So all these kind of things it's a learning experience. Why we formed Mavericks is we want to back entrepreneurs. So we thought like a venture studio, certain projects which I want to carry, which I want to focus on. We'll back them with partners, capital, and with these. So what we learned is I started pitching family businesses with like these groups, and they were our funding. The first time it was IPDC, which funded Core. The second time it was Al Majid Group. So there are different groups. Maybe you can cut the names if they want, but there are different groups that came in. So what we thought business groups is where we started pitching, right? So I thought, let's build a syndicate of business groups, and let's back different kind of projects.
Which year did you form Mavericks?
2018, in fact. 18 was when we first registered Mavericks. It got fully operational by 2019.
Okay.
That's when we started. So we started having meetup forums,
Something called co-working spaces.
co-working spaces. So that came in COVID.
COVID.
That came.
During
So that's
I remember that.
I'll come to that,
Yeah.
but when Mavericks, so this is the vision of Mavericks. We want to core some key projects which we get back. Now, what I found out is there are thousands of companies I started loving. There's no way I can focus on all these kind of. So we formed a platform called International Business Week.
Okay.
Back then, it was called International Business Delegation. We started inviting different great ventures, and maybe Tom is interested in this. Maybe Faisal is interested in that venture. And so many great ventures. We found out in Manila there was this great coffee shop, and then that came in, that scaled here, called Bose Cafe, and so many
Yeah.
things. So there are a lot of success stories that came in, all right. So we thought there is a need for a scaling platform, which go global became a mantra. So we formed International Business Week. Our vision is to host a week in 9 regions in the world: Latin America, North America, Europe, Africa, Eurasia, which is Central Asia and Europe, the Middle East, China. Every year we spend 3 to 4 days, or you can say up to a week, in 9 regions of the world, and we have one summit in the year. We don't do 9 weeks; we do 3 or 4 weeks. We had, as you know, the Greater China Week, Hong Kong, Shenzhen. We had a US thing, and now we will have a few. We will have something in Eurasia and all that coming up. But our summit happens annually now in Abu Dhabi. The Abu Dhabi government signed up with us. We had this one where you said, the government agency said, host your summit here. You can do anything you want. You have full creative freedom to host your summit here. So that's next one is happening on the 23rd to 25th in April, and we have entrepreneurs from around the world, investors from around the world, you know, uh, and GCC is a big focus. So what we say, Gulf to Globe. Come to Gulf and go to the globe.
Have you finalized where you're going to do this?
It's going to be in Yas Island.
Yes, Island.
Yas Island is going to be the main location,
23rd,
but we'll have a decentralized format. We want to do more, not because different people like different things, and they don't want to hear just speeches
Yes,
and this, sure, we'll have a great opening and ending and all that, but rest is they want to keep focused stuff. So this is across different industries, right? You could be in the wellness ecosystem, which is healthcare, well, everything in the well fitness. It could be media and entertainment. It could be retail and e-commerce. Of course, energy engineering. So you have procurement conferences and things coming. And then, of course, tech and innovation is always a big story. So that we have a whole innovation showcase. So when you're coming back to Mavericks, one of the things we did is one of the first deals we did was with this company in Shenzhen, which is like a platform called
Okay.
Z Pilot, which is
Z
focused on
Z.
Z Pilot.
Yeah.
So which is focused on AI consumer tech for robotics and all this kind of stuff. So they're like a platform. They work with so many of the innovative companies in Shenzhen and beyond in China.
Okay.
And they provided a platform to showcase people can buy and sell their product. So in AI, I was looking for that niche space. So I like AI you can touch and feel. I've always enjoyed being a gadget freak and lover. With AI coming into the picture, this becomes success. So that's why, I showed you, this is an AI glass, for example.
Okay.
You probably heard of the Ray-Ban glass, but this is
Yeah,
much more than that, right?
Ray-Ban.
There's live, I can take videos, I can take pictures.
Okay.
I'm able to, it's like a teleprompter. When I'm speaking, I can even see my speech.
Really?
I can take videos.
Yeah,
I can even obviously you can take videos and pictures with this, and it gives you a nice nerdy look. People start respecting you more.
I think they respect you nonetheless.
You do, but not everyone stormed down. So this is an example of how they took a frame.
Yeah.
They have a bit of AI in it, and so there's element of robotics in it, and there is an element of AI, because with AI coming, robotics makes sense
So
now.
it's a multifunctional glass.
Multifunctional glass.
So
It's like a
yeah. So
3 years from now, everyone's going to use this, right?
there are byproducts of this available in different, like Shein, Temu, all these things. There are these things. What is the difference between Z Pilot bringing? I mean, what's the quality of gadgets that are coming in there? Is there a different quality that's coming in
Right.
from Z Pilot as opposed to from a Temu or a
Very
or a
good.
Shein?
Sure. So Temu and Sheen has a mass. They do so many things. Some of them are concept pieces.
Yes.
Zpal only takes proven pieces, which can scale, right? So which has support. The biggest challenge for this is support. What if something's not working? You need to find someone you can give it back to support and all this. You need software which can be constantly updated. AI is software.
So
right?
when you open or scale a business here, which is a Z Pilot inspired store, yeah, do you provide that support?
Yeah, we will provide that
You
support. We
provide
have to, right? So we will have what we call it as experience centers,
Yes.
which we want to roll out, starting with the UAE. That's the plan. And then we will have a lot of the e-commerce driven platforms. We're even thinking of working with other e-commerce platforms and have our own e-commerce platform at the center where you can even buy these products, right? But the main opportunity is how it actually helps build a grassroots hardware, robotics, entrepreneurship ecosystem in the Gulf. In the Gulf, they don't have any local. You want to create a local industry in itself,
Yes.
right? When you have a lot of these attractive ventures coming in and bringing their innovative products in the consumer tech space, in the robotics space, it will create a lot of local entrepreneurs as well.
When you say create a lot of entrepreneurs, do you want manufacturing to happen here?
So we want at least the design happening here. The manufacturing nowadays can be global anywhere where it's more.
Because Qatar promotes manufacturing. That's why one of the things
See,
that
that's what. So high-end manufacturing is exactly which can happen in Qatar, right?
okay.
Which can, because now manufacturing is getting automated.
Yes.
It's not even labor. So Qatar becomes exciting because here the cost of energy is low,
Yes.
and if cost of labor too is not that high,
Not
right?
that
Because it's labor coming
I
from
have
outside.
companies from India that come and set up offices here,
Right.
and they have they manufacture products here, and then they send it back to
Correct.
India
Correct.
because they don't have to deal with unions, they don't have to
Right.
deal with any of the labor problems, any of this thing. They are a well-structured oil company that, oh, sorry,
Absolutely.
machine that's running all their costs, and then sending it back to India.
Absolutely. So if you have very clear use
Yeah.
cases, Qatar becomes a great. But if you want to really be an export hub, I think you will need a Jebel Ali in Dubai or an Abu Dhabi,
What
to
is
export.
coming to that level?
It's coming because it needs to be called. They don't have the scale, unfortunately,
Yes.
yet. So that makes the cost higher in terms
Higher.
of logistic shipments, right? But Qatar is a great for high-end manufacturing kind of thing because if you know your market's India, you want to build it here. You have lower energy, you're easy of doing business, you have cheap land.
Yes.
No one talks about cheap land, right? The biggest asset Gulf countries have is after oil is actually land.
Land.
You know, the land is
Absolutely
available,
available.
expensive, which no one
Qatar is
knows.
aware of that.
Yeah, because-
Aware of that. Qatar is
but
aware.
now I mean, they're all aware of that.
Yeah.
Now they're really taking advantage
Yeah.
of that, right? And you have some amazing systems. I've been to QSZA
Yes.
and phenomenal. You know, I know the chief operating officer, great friend of mine,
Yes.
again Singaporean. You know, and so these guys are and they're doing some amazing stuff there. You know, and some great companies are moving in. I think it was I saw another Chinese tech company. Was it the CCTV company who just moved in there? You know,
Okay.
they're opening an office. So a lot of this is exciting time. That's why we say Gulf to Globe, right? Gulf is going to be in the transition, right at the heart of all the global changes that's actually happening.
Right.
So even many of the Chinese companies, for them to go global, they're using the Gulf, they're using UAE, Saudi, Qatar as that launch pad. So I think that's an exciting time. So that's why we're hoping companies like Zpilot is a gateway into China's innovation ecosystem. You know, and
So
they're
there are
open multiple
product.
product lines. You know, they have
Multiple.
they have a massage pair thing, they
Yeah.
have drones, smart drones which follow you, they're like the drone concierge.
Yeah.
They have a lot of exciting projects coming in. So I think it's with AI coming to the play, it becomes very exciting because now it has intelligence. Till now, robots and all these smart people think when robots are only these humanoids, right?
Yes.
The robots can be as small as this.
Yes.
This is all robotic process enabled. So that's where they're great. You know, they put robotic
Yeah,
process.
I think the terminology robotics is to think a human form of a robot.
Correct.
Yeah, but robotics is just enabling you to do a task easier than human intervention.
Correct. So and people get scared. It's going to replace. You know, it's going to get you to do something more, which is worthy of your time.
Yes, absolutely.
For example, I just went to a retail store. I don't want to name it recently. I had a very bad experience. I was looking to buy the new Fold. None of these guys have an idea what the Fold does, how is it, about spec. Now in China, what happens is I saw they in Zpilot they had this new robotic salesperson, which aids the robotic sales guys, with all the details. I want the human. I don't want the human being to replace ideally.
Correct.
But the human being cannot have all the information too, right?
Correct.
He's probably dealing with 20 different products. He doesn't know about the Fold and the iPhone and this one and all that. But the robot has all that information. For him or for the what he or she, whatever we call that, it gives you that information, and the human being can be there for the personal human touch, for the whole experience and all this kind. So you need both, right? That's where, and so he could do more. I would say value added stuff rather than answering my silly questions. How does the fold, or how many GB is there in this kind of thing. So that's why I feel this is a great force enabler, and it's a very exciting time. So, and for me as a gadget lover, I think this is something, whatever we do, it should also sync with your personal passion.
Correct.
Otherwise you won't enjoy it beyond a time. There are so many ways to make money. You don't have to, I can sell real estate, maybe that
Or something else.
something else.
Yeah.
So this is what the story is in Fibulations. We keep trying.
How do you drive your inspiration? How do you when you walk into China, you see a lot of tech, you see a lot of these things. So sometimes you can be overwhelmed with
Right.
with okay, I want this, I want that, but then how do you focus yourself? How do you How?
Great question. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Rob.
Okay.
Because that's what I've been, 10 years we've been traveling, right?
Yes.
I realize we go there, you go to a Canton Fair,
Okay.
it's like an ocean of suppliers.
Correct.
So many things, hawking so many. We don't know who is real, who to this.
Yeah.
That's why I say whoever wants to do something with China or any country, Africa, you need to find people who have who are great partners and have great traction locally. For us, for example, we work very closely. One of the families we work, is co-family. Now they're one of the earliest investors in DJI,
Okay.
one of the first investors in DJI.
They
So
can.
he is the camera. So he's made many of these are his investments. What you
Okay.
see in Z Pilot are his investments, which he incubated, and when it was ready to go market, they come to Z Pilot becomes a friend. In terms. These are the kind of people you should associate with if you want to know what to believe and what not to believe in.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could bet on something which doesn't work tomorrow, which can be supported tomorrow. So you to prevent the overwhelming, you want a curated experience. So that's what something like Z Pilot brings. They give you a curated experience
Okay.
of what works. And if it doesn't, you have someone who can, say, what, we'll take it back or we'll refund you and we'll get you another piece, or you need that kind of someone.
Yeah. Some accountability.
And what Zetpilot has done is
Yes.
they built a community-based approach. They have a co-working space on the top.
Okay.
They have this space. So on the top you have these founders coming, pitching,
Yes.
having live events about so many innovations. And the bottom you have all these innovations showcased. This could be car moving in. This could be AI guitar. You don't need to know guitar. You could play.
Yes.
All kinds of fun stuff. So they've created a whole, and I see a lot of youngsters thronging, and if that fires up their imagination, they go out to try to do very interesting, and they pitch to Japan. And until you get their, if they know if they get their approval, they get massive, because today the Chinese government has signed up with Z Pilot.
Okay.
The Shanghai Innovation Center just hosted their first consumer AI tech festival at the Westwood. I was there in Shanghai 2 weeks back for this exact purpose with Z Pilot to host it, and you had tens of thousands of people thronging from Shanghai to see all these kind of different innovations, right?
Wow.
So that's what. So when you have an endorsement even from that kind of level, then So you need to find the right kind of partners. Just going back to your
So
question.
you as a company, do you provide that sort of a service to connect you to the right partners? How do you do that?
So yeah, so I told you. So we have International Business Week.
Right.
So what we are trying to do is probably even involve. So we encourage people to come with us sometimes when we have these visits. That's a great time to meet, because personally we can take up projects to help companies on business, but we cannot help thousands of companies
Correct.
always. We
Correct.
can't handhold them.
Correct.
So we can help them on a personal projects and help them. You know what? We can introduce you to the right people.
Yeah.
Write this as a project. And but otherwise, what we said, come and visit, come with an open mind and explore. If tomorrow we're doing something in Latin America, come and explore. Come there, learn, you make some great, you know who are the right
So it's
people.
a networking.
So it's a network kind of thing. So
Yeah.
you have connections, networking. So you need three things.
Okay.
When I say go global, there are three things. You have go to market,
Yes.
you have investments, and the third thing is intelligence.
Intelligence.
Market. You need to know what to do. Maybe we worked with this Chinese pharma company. They have 51% market share in some drugs. They thought they were very interested. We were talking. They came to our last summit in Abu Dhabi, and they realized they should not enter this market. They found out there are cheaper, far more competent Indian pharma substitutes here,
Yeah.
which they can't compete with, right? And they decided, you know what, if we come, we'll only come with some innovative drug. So sometimes that if you don't have that intelligence, you're going to spend a lot of money and understand this and have a costly understanding of what you should have understood long back. So intelligence, go-to-market, investments. These are the three things we offer through International Business Week. And then, of course, Mavericks is for our own projects which we want to back.
Okay. So, say somebody watches our video and sees this thing. If they want to contact you, if they want to find out, okay, they want to know more details on how to go. So, when is the next fair that's happening, or when is the next event that's happening?
The next summit is going to be, that's an annual summit, is in April, 5 months from now, 5.5 months from now. In April 23rd to 25th. If they want, they can go to our website, internationalbusinessweek.com.
Okay.
Or they can, always reach out to us on LinkedIn. We are on LinkedIn, more active. They're there on Instagram too, but mainly LinkedIn.
Okay.
Happy, someone will get in touch with them. They can just register. Go to our website, register. That's the best way.
Mavericks.
At the International Business Week.
International Business.
Yeah. Mavericks, of course, it's a.
So we can give that as a
you can put that
as a thread here.
You can put that as a thread there,
Yeah.
so they can hit the registration.
Hit the registration. Yeah. Now, most of our people who view this there might be people who are just looking for jobs,
Right.
looking for this thing. Do you provide, an opportunity for them to work with you?
So yeah, so in IBW we're building something called IBW Talent. So
Okay.
because we work with a lot of companies,
Okay.
all these companies have always hiring people.
Okay.
So what we do is, if they can send their CVs, we
Yes.
can potentially send it to some of these guys. You
So
know,
this is
so
all across.
this is all across. You know,
All
all across the GCC,
all
wherever.
across.
You know, so where this opportunity comes nowadays, a lot of jobs happening in Saudi,
Yes.
UAE. You know,
UAE.
so with the boom happening. So yeah, even in Qatar too. So any ventures, yeah, please they can reach out.
One of the other things that our earlier visitors said was service is going to be a big focus in terms of industry. How does China come into the service industry? How does what can China bring into the service industry? Do you,
Interesting. So historically,
yeah,
China has lacked services been not their
there is.
strength, and we hope and everything doesn't become their strength, but
Yeah.
it's beginning to look. Yeah,
But since you said China drives a very global economical
right.
this thing, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's innovation, whether it's robotics, this thing, service is part of all these industries.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
So is that a niche that we can look at with China?
See, yeah, see, in China, when it comes to services, now, for example, you say IT services, right?
Yes.
Historically, India is dominated because why? Because more English
Yeah.
speaking, different, so more compatible with Western sensibilities,
Yes.
understanding. In China, it's a very different situation there. But it's very interesting. We actually went to DJI's headquarters
Okay.
along with our delegation last in September. And DJI told us something interesting. Now they are now focusing on drone as a service.
Don't ask.
They signed up with the Dubai police, where they're often the Dubai polices have these drone helipads,
Yes.
and where they use them as a service for any traffic issues or even security related issues. And now that drone is even used for construction projects to monitor at any given time without, so you don't need specific license because it's not going to pry on the nearby. It's only going to be within the for construction related purpose. So these kind of services, as of now, they're using their tech to provide these kind of services, and they're learning very smart. They're like going to India, they're going to the Philippines, they're creating other service arms to service these kind of
Yeah,
this type.
I saw in Istanbul, Turkey,
Right.
um, 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 big buildings being washed by drones.
Right.
Before you used to have these ladders, they used to have people
Right.
come down the ladders and they
Right.
clean the buildings.
Right.
These now it's a complete drone that's doing
Correct.
that entire process,
Right.
which saves much on the labor cost, on
Right.
the especially
The facade
yeah
cleaning, right?
facade cleaning.
Oh, it's good that you mentioned this. One of our friends from, it's one of our Hong Kong IBW, they're a big part of it, is this company. They have formed a new company in Sharjah. They registered in the Hamri of it. They put a whole warehouse. This is purely focused on robotics for industrial purposes. So one of the applications is this facade cleaning robot, which is because I remember, we have, we're in the co-working spaces too, right? So for cleaning buildings is a big problem.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money, and they come once in a week,
Yes.
and the probably drains the next day,
Yeah.
and the building's dirty for a week, and this just spoils the whole ambience. When you have facade cleaners, this could be a daily thing. You don't have to worry,
Yeah.
and you get the ROI. You're not
Yeah.
dealing with
People, and also the cost of having a person go up and down. Safety of the person is a big issue.
I've had 3 facilities management company
Yeah.
in the last 1 month go to Shenzhen through me, just focusing on these kind of technologies because they want to bring these robots for all kinds of stuff, not just for facade cleaning, for automated tiling,
Yes.
for all kinds of services. So and they're much more precision. Now they are production ready. So this is what, right? You need to know. You'll feel so many things, but which are ready actually production. It's one thing as a concept, it's one thing in a production.
Yes.
That's going back to your point. How do you know who's the right company with the right products
Exactly.
and actually, right? So that's where it becomes, you go to the right channels, you have the right partners to actually search it.
Vineet, thank you so much. Thank you for being our guest today. We're thankful for
Thank you, Tom.
having this
Thank you
opportunity.
for having me.
Thank you
Loved
for
it.
thank you for coming. I hope we touched the right questions.
I hope so too.
And we hope to be part of your
Journey.
journey. Yeah, we'll also like to be part of your event that is happening
Abu Dhabi.
in Abu Dhabi. If you can give us a space there, that that'll be
Absolutely.
RM Talks would definitely like to be be present,
Yeah,
especially
the whole
to
GCC is
cover
going to
the
be
Doha
showcased. Correct. Yeah.
this side.
Yeah.
Please give us an opportunity. We'll definitely like to be present. Maybe we can get to speak to some speakers that
Absolutely.
you can connect us with,
Yeah.
and
We could do some shows there as well.
yes,
That's
some
absolutely.
shows there as
Yeah.
well. Something
Yeah.
something that we can take it forward.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
thank you so much for
Thank you
coming.
so much,
Thank
Tom.
you.
Yeah.